di-levels a di tshwane and re na mo living a no re nya go tsena mo re sa lekaneng mo teng
Yeah.
wa understand ke ntwe e re bolayang le ko ditlabong kwa go tsa matlabo tsela tsa o tura go bosantseng tsa di-underground kgono gore batho ba happy ngwanyana teng o kgono mondo o ntsha phone e bela bo itla ka di-starlight from mo o nnetse phone o chatela mangwe ba ba seng mo o ba active fela ka point e le gore santse wa bone ke batho mo e leng gore maybe go na le grotman le lengwe le na le bodyguard mo la le khapa bodyguard toilet go na mantshang phone but you can see for the rest of the night most to a happy o nnetse phone
sa go tsa pili snap ya 32,000
ba smile fela he ba smile fela and then after mo ke back to square one ba le majita teng jo khono bona ba borile ba ntse mo di phone right look at the videos tsa majita a go di clubong tsela tse di expensive 90% of the times those guys ba nnetse di phone tsa bona ba chetala bomangwe ba go khola o kra ba chetala rena re le go di taverneng gore re le mo reto no la di khoto tsa di 20 rand wona spendile 20,000 cause o nya go impressa banyana lo hana ba o hana o ya yo lo one.
Everybody, my name is Neo Malatji. This is the first ever episode of Open Up. I mean, the title tell it all. We have the handsome Neo. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Except my gents. Yeah, this is me, and yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, man. Let's just start with telling us who is Neo.
So, basically, Neo Malatji. Born go Soshanguve, Pretoria. Currently now I live in Johannesburg. So yeah, man. I mean, I'm a computer systems engineer by profession, by qualification. Even though I left the profession about 2-3 years ago, so now I'm fully self-employed. So yeah, I'm fully self-employed now at NM Tech, where I'm the director, the founder, yeah, and everything else.
That's nice. Okay, let's just start with why you're here. When I received your email saying you have a story to tell, I was really intrigued. And the fact that you were born in Soshanguve, in my mind when I'm here, so let's just talk about the story, why you're here.
So yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm here because, like, to be honest, I don't really have a straight answer to that. What I know is that there's a lot of things that are currently happening in South Africa. I mean, unemployment rate is currently sitting at like 32% as we speak. I mean, as a former employee, I pretty much started my company because the industry pretty much kicked me out. Okay. And then, I mean, this is pretty much a very educational podcast where we're going to share a lot of things that are happening in real life besides the podcast, besides education and work. So yeah, man, I mean, this is just a normal conversation that we're gonna have, and hopefully somebody's gonna take a thing or two from it. So yeah.
Like, I hear you. Before we can get to you owning your company, you speak about you were an employee. What happened when you say it kicked you out?
So I've always been the type of guy to be very inquisitive. Well, I've always been very uncomfortable in comfortable spaces. So when I find myself in a room where I feel like I'm the smartest, then I know that I'm definitely in the wrong room, right? So I mean, I studied Chile computer systems engineering, started back in 2013 at TUT. But because my course was not really boring, but I mean, they were doing things that everybody else knew. So I started teaching myself things like graphics design, web development. I taught myself hacking. So I remember before Yajola 99 started, I used to be go cafeteria da hacking the Facebook account of Zavato. Kietsa zaka obo. And yeah, I mean, because I remember I used to have a girlfriend back then, which I didn't trust. I mean, she was far away, like it was a long distance thingy. So I mean, I hacked because like she never posted me, and on social media when you don't get posted, you feel a bit insecure. But I was still a kid. So because of that, I hacked into her Facebook account, looked at her DMs. I saw some boy, and I posted myself on a timeline like, "Yo, baby, I miss you so much." So she found out, and she was like, "No, I know it's you. You're the only hacker that I know." And because I did that, then I started seeing, okay, you know what? I know that there's a lot of guys like me. I might as well just do this for a couple of people. So ka thoma ka di hackanyana ra batho ne ba mpha di 50 rand ke ntse ke ba bontsha ilonyana tsebe yao. And then because like I taught myself a lot of things like body web development, graphics design. So I remember I think second year I started volunteering with a company called Geek Culture. Shout out to Geek Culture. So every time during recess when we're supposed to go home, I'd go voluntarily Geek Culture where scholars, I mean Banaba High School would come Gadi Base. We'd give them some training. I would teach them graphics design, and a lot of them are very successful. I think one of them has like 1 million followers or something like that. Kana, what's her name? Samuperti. She could call herself Samupeti or something. She's like a comedian on TikTok and stuff like that. So I also used to mentor the chick, and I see that now like she's very successful. Even though Liana, she's successful at other things, but I mean she's one of those people that I look at and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, cool, like a game, wabo. So it's those things, and in the process, I mean, I was teaching myself a lot of things. I mean, and that's pretty much how I got my first employment. I mean, I was hired third year at varsity, and the company just literally hired me on the spot because they came with a system. They were teaching us how it works, but before the session ended, I was the one that was teaching the guys how the system actually worked. So, and then I became the first student partner in South Africa for a company called Intel. I was one of the first student partners in the country. Me along with another lady called Marie. So yeah, I mean, pretty much my career started there, my 9 to 5 career. I mean, I worked for a lot of companies.
I'm so intrigued because in my mind I thought for this thing of hacking, man, it's just a myth or it's the things that we see in the movies. I was not aware, well, I'm gonna sit next to somebody who used to hack. I mean, sometimes you start that as into fun. Like, did you take it extra mile?
No, not really, because I mean, I was very inquisitive. Like, I'm the type of person that when I have questions, I'd go and do my research. And back in the days, hacking was easier because like there was less encryptions. There were like pretty much security wasn't as tough as it is now. So since then, I think I only did that for like a year and it started being difficult. But I mean, through that, because I mean, some people could use like inspect element. There was a way of us just being able to generate some sort of a code that would send to you in a form of a link, and you click that link. Like even now they still do it. Like you'd find a link saying, you won the lottery, click this link. Once you click that, you're basically giving them access to everything of yours. So with ours, how I used to do it is I had my own systems where I generate that link, and then I'd pretty much send it to you. So with the moment you click that link, it would send me an HTML code. I'd read through that HTML code, and then there was specifically, I think it was line 32, where it pretty much gave me your password. So remember Facebook before when it started, it used to show people's emails. When you go to the person's profile, it used to show you that like instead of the username, it used to show you the email that they registered with. Yeah. So you just copy that email because they click that link, you copy the password, and then that's how you'd enter. So it was very easy. But then now it's very difficult. Now, like I haven't even tried it because I mean now I'm pushing my own thing.
Now you have your, after you said now you ventured into your own business.
Yeah. So, I mean, I worked in IT for the longest time since 2015 until 2022. Yeah, I mean, so even though I studied computer systems engineering, I worked a lot of in business intelligence, right? Where we're doing BI, your SQL, your data, this and that. Like, there's a lot of things in business intelligence. But I've always wanted to go into business. I mean, I remember I started my company, NM Tech, this one. Started this company back in 2016. Initially, it was called NM Web and Graphics Design. So I only did websites and graphics because that's the only skill that I knew at the time. But then as time went on, I mean, you know, like your clients are going to dictate where your business is supposed to go. So lockdown came. There was this other gent that I used to know who were selling hand sanitizers. And remember, my first GTI, I bought it in 2020, January. And I think they announced lockdown, couple March. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, after I bought my GTI, I was working for this other company, which was very abusive. There was very few of us. And because I just could not tolerate it, I think things became worse when I bought the GTI. Now it was that, now he can't leave. But I mean, in most cases, I was always the smartest in most companies that I worked for. So I knew that even if I leave, it's a loss for the both of us. So I mean, I just can't stand abusive places. And so that January, when I bought my GTI, I quit with immediate effect the same month because yeah, it was bad. Things just got bad. Like, it was like that thing that you had for one thing, but because you have so many skills and you made it like public in the company that I can do this and this and that, and you do that because like you want to rescue the company in case anything goes wrong. I mean, when I even joined that company, they didn't even have a proper website. Let's just start there. And I didn't go there as a website guy, but I was like, I built a website like from start to finish, building it, the career portal, things that they used to pay for. Built everything, saved them a lot of money, but they were still abusive. It was like, guys, why are you doing this? So and then that's when I quit the job with immediate effect. January, and then now I was unemployed. Lockdown came in. So this brewer that I used to know, he was also into business. I think he still is. I don't even know what's happening with him. But anyway, I said hand sanitizer, and I remember, bro, like using a Golf 7 GTI as a baggy. Like my car literally nerpatla me said the seat hand sanitizer. And mind you, NM Tech is still there in the background. No, and NM Web at the time, it's still there in the background. But I mean, it wasn't making money. I mean, NM Web started making money, I think after 6 years, if I'm not mistaken. So I told me said the hand sanitizer, and before the hand sanitizer, I opened up a dropshipping store. So a dropshipping store, so you do know what a dropshipping store is, Mas?
Yes, even if I know, just tell the viewers so that they can get a glimpse.
So basically what happens with dropshipping is you basically build a website in the front end, then you use you can use APIs, you can use whatever. I mean, it depends on which system you're building it on. Then there's a store in the background. For example, you can have AliExpress or Alibaba in the background, which is your suppliers. So you take your web skills, you build a very nice website. So let's say, for example, I'm selling shoes, right? You'd find that the shoe on AliExpress or Alibaba, because these are like Chinese wholesalers. People don't really trust in them, but that's where pretty much everybody gets everything from. So you have that in the background, but nobody sees that it's AliExpress in the background. All they see is your nice website. You named it Couture or something like that, whatever you like business all about playing with people's minds. So you're gonna have that in your front end. So even if somebody compares these two shoes, maybe let's say they found it on AliExpress, then they found it in your store. You sell it for like 1.5 on your store, and then on AliExpress like 300 rand. Because people just believe that expensive things are quality.
Yeah.
They'll buy a new, and because they're buying on new, so what the system will do is it will send you an email that Dineo just bought this sneaker from you, and then maybe I'm using pay. In South Africa, we normally use PayFast, but if it's international, I normally use like PayPal as my payment gateway. So I'd get an email to say Dineo has paid you 300 rand. They want this sneaker. And then I take Dineo has paid 1.5. They want the sneaker. And then from that 1.5, I'll take 300 rand. I'll give it to the real supplier, which is AliExpress, and leave them a message. So we have different types of dropshipping. You can have branded dropshipping, which is where maybe you have your logo. You send a message to your supplier, say, put on this logo. And then because Dineo put all her details on my website, I take those details, I give them to the AliExpress guy, to that Chinese guy. They take my logo, put it on that sneaker. They take the 300 rand, and then like I keep my 1,200 rand profit.
It's not even legal.
So yeah, it is. I mean, it's pretty much what everyone else is doing now. I mean,
for the first time hearing something like that.
No, I mean even on TikTok. I don't know if you saw that war between China and USA, where the Chinese were like 80% of these branded things that you see. We are the ones that do them. I mean, many of us knew. Many of us knew, like even a lot of South African brands. It's something that they do. I mean, some of them have a lot of money to keep inventory, which is when now they start opening up their stores. But if you look at many of SA brands, they usually start online. Then when now they have enough money to have inventory, that's when now they start stores. And I mean, the advantage of having your own store is that dispatch is quicker, meaning that people can just come and get it like off the shelf. But the disadvantage is, what if people do not buy? But that's the thing. You establish the brand first, and then once it's established and moving and you have a lot of demand, then that's when you can now start keeping inventory. So I mean, I had that, sold it to this other guy called Steve Aspland. I think it was sold in 2020. I sold it for like 100K. Because my GTI was in areas, guys. I was not working.
The COVID-19 affected so many
my GTI was not working, and I moved back home. Hey, it was a mess. By home, I mean Soshanguve. And a few months later, I blew my car's engine. It disappeared for like 6 months. You know, some people like they started talking.
GTI.
Yeah. Now a lot of people were like, nah, it's repossessed, this and that, this and that. I was like, nah, okay, cool, it's fine. I mean, which is why now, I mean, because of that experience, now I prefer buying things cash, even though we don't really have the cash. I mean, having cash to buy. Yeah, it's important because when you're like me and you're not working, sometimes there's delayed invoices, sometimes projects don't come, sometimes a company would take forever to just conclude a deal. So sometimes you find yourself making a lot of money and then spending the next 3 to 6 months without making any money. So now I just prefer buying like cars at auctions. I want an auction, I wait for banga balitseleng tsona, then like buy cheap. Yeah. Because I mean the bank, bro, the bank just wants its money. I mean, if you owe the bank like 50,000 rand and you bought the car for like 1 million, the bank just wants its 50,000 rand back. Even though like we're gonna fight for it until it goes up. So that's pretty much what happens. I mean, I register the sanitizer da ka mo ke register shop ela for 100k nyane some pusha nyana. The sanitizer da, but I mean from that sanitizer business I was just helping the brew routes. I wasn't really making money from it. But I push. I remember South Africa once ran out of alcohol. Jore pusha jo. Wabo pusha jo, and then just like that, bro, like until I decided that one day, you know what, I'm just going to change NM Web and Graphics Design to NM Tech, changed it in 2022, rebranded, registered it as a new company, and then now I'm living off of NM Tech Ilawane. Like, even though, I'm living off of NM Tech Ilawane. Not really Ilawane, but it's my main business at the moment.
And I really hope this is an important lesson to every business owner there, because so we have a problem here. The moment I'm building something, I expect it immediately. You understand? But when a success it came 6 years later.
Wow. I'm not even going to see success because this is Joe.
But there is a progress that you see.
Yeah. I mean, progress or anything. I mean, I never thought that I'd be able to live and go get a cash and not that I have money, no, I don't. But as I said, I mean, sanitizer, by the way, I actually went back to 925. And then now the last time when I quit at 925, I quit because I won't learn not joke. Because like I remember I was working for a company. I think I better get the phone and I get deal le sharp jo. Is company yona sharp kono patala rente ko le ka installment ko ikrea. He work it da. I really dealing with sharp, and I feel like that was my biggest mistake because really dealing with sharp. I think the first 3 weeks of signing the deal, I clocked annual salary company chelete ko company in fana ka ngwaha. Within like 3 weeks, I was like, nah, I'm working. And I remember like to test that I did have the money. I actually went and bought a BMW cash. That BMW that's parked over there.
Okay.
Can you
just zoom it?
Get in it. Now, get in it. Kaya buy a cash di car. Kurmugin ali ona chele duro.
Yeah.
I got well spending gara naksabu Monday before to Monday I go. Toma ga pusha ga patala rente for the whole year up front. Ka bona joke sharp mo. But this time went on. A few months later, because like I would that's another thing. Like, you seeing big money fell on an PM or on an investment or anything. Few months later, I told I was license patele mola. Kidi process weeds. Come over no lena valid supply, lena valid supplier, lena valid babiriki da. We to meriki whether deal it with a supply patterns or I mean client patterns or cheleta. So lozo next say to tito, no. Got then and then like back to the drawing board. Now cheleta esatena neuja chelete mo boloile ma 500k last thing the past 2 months. No, I was an asilo. And I wanted that life. But then what helped me, I mean, mentally is that I spoke to, so I have my sister more for ways more like onali meets about so every time I hosted something, I made sure that I was there to take advantage of whoever the conversation and like I spoke to my jitama baba ngojo tsa go letse serious jodi mai di berke di Maserati di one first time ba kono mbotsa straight ra mvana ke life ya business tsa mabaya ka tsone o na le million ore o tsa ka tseno o tsamaya ka Bentley, the next 2 months ha ona le tšhelete ya petrol o khopela di 1000 wa understand. And right and le yone because le life e le gore ne ke sa e tlwaela ke re Joe, how come motho Joe kono have 500 bloggers? And I know a lot of people who are not making such monies. They believe in their minds that kabali chelete so ke tlo khono e berekisa o ka se khone, because remember it doesn't come monthly. Chelete ba rent e nyako every month. If patina le koloi ka sekoloto ke lo nyako every month. You find that 500k or you ise felo Joe. Ona le ngwana sentse mo ise creaching, ona le nginging. So sometimes you get to a point me lo sentse o ithuto berekisa nyoko. And now I know I'm still learning how to use money. And even last week I had a meeting with this other lady, Lena, who makes a lot of money. She was like, "No, wait, at this point, I feel like I no longer want to make money because I don't know how to use it. Like I've made so much money, I just don't know how to use it." And you get what buyer, like what about buyer, Joe, like lebanyana ba bloma ba tsama go ditlabong where you can see ngwanyana ding Joe. Le mo WhatsApp re na le bona. Anamele V-class weekend go fela anamele di V-class Monday Tuesday posted the wings saba will wings so iputse mara motho wa rena no di veve at tshela ka veve no ana le 100 rand di wings. And until so joira jo, like I feel like financial education is very important, especially rena ba re tlong ra re tlhae from yona na re jo ke tlhago sosha ke thomile bona di 6 figures ka nna wa ntlhalwa.
Exactly.
So lonyana tso mo bona 6 figures ka wena wa e tlwaela jo thoma mola na go ngwe jo wa groove mola private client ka teashi mang na o tella sene no kopanela ka motla bongwe ya go montsankane. So lonyana tso jo tsa politi prove ta ba re ya go Diamond Dog re tse di video bene re nya go prove a point. And jo even I still fight with a lot of my boys about swara za ke re joins ro ti prove until name, and ayo o re ti prove mo batho le ra bana taba le rena jo go popa di bottle mo lo spendile 50,000 you think go robone in your mind ba mpone ka o sane na ro hopole.
Exactly.
Na re no le dikhoto tsa rena tse di ine ke ne re sharp.
And I think that's the problem. The moment you have money, you be like, if I was able to have it like this, it means next time I will be able to have it.
Exactly my point.
Exactly my point. Like, next business, I'm still gonna have
exactly my point. Exactly my point. And like business, Joe, it's very hard to sustain a business unless if you body service level agreements in place, like the contracts or the first time month to month thingy. But in most cases, the business are not jokicha order le wa no tshwana maybe una le bargeng tender you find yoko once jo he una ba o file tender ba o file million or no so okay or supply ga diteki that million like it's just income as a profit ya from that million o kra lo no ja 300,000 fail and ba tlonya ka happening diteki tse ding ke le jola radina, and that's why jo ra ba bona mo South Africa ba re mangwe wa di tender o ile ka na jo I know what it's like, it's in kada I know what it's like bro, like.
And
Joe,
that's what happens to many celebrities. Sorry, I'm just gonna touch about this. Or get the freelancers, right? You live from one check to another. You see one celebrity today living this kind of a lifestyle. The following day, the donation on social media.
Exactly my point. Because Joe, if you look at acting, for example, I want to give you the stories of this other lady. Bara hebanali production, maybe production okay, barking 3 months. Ba khono pa hona le production house ding di khono patela once. Let's say bar budget ya for 3 months maybe ro betse 300,000 ro patela yona once. Remember sana di tax mo di mo sana le 300,000 etla mo ene le maybe ma 200,000.
Maybe the tax ke bona there's still the agency your managers.
Go sana le dilonyana tso tse bya ka mo di ma, and then that's when go say and then have a post online this agency this production inflate 300,000 efela but rena ba re sa itseng we 300,000 is a lot of money, but remember moto santsana mele for 3 months santswa patela accommodation for 3 months. Santu kidi ki celebrity, we santu apila on point. The lifestyle. Santu mo apila on point. So 300,000 it's nothing. Ofelezo bonorjo asesilo. That's why lerna jo most young guys come out of business. Rabe tage direct. Re phela renya ka lifestyle, go tsene style no sir. Gucha wa siona santu re phela re tshwere di sleep. Yona ke phela di tsebile ke ba fotsekisa la. Ka re ngono le ka para fake. Ke ta khono pela ke tshwere sleep nna mona santu wa re phela re tsia video every time o ile Louis Vuitton ko ena ka phone. Jora ti prove until neng ba.
There's this way to re chuana ga e swere borotho, understand that, because ke the thing o gola in poverty. When you grow up you want to prove a certain point. Exactly. And I think that's one thing that kills most black young people.
So jo le pressure wa bona pressure where last jo like namajita ga advice ore motho o jolang le ena or mo nyalang motho important the blind le mo le tšhomitsa hao, because na jo I used to be mo sekeleng ya batho ba ba ilong re all about proof a point, it's all about proof a point, it's all about proof a point. Wena kulia wengeng wena o tsameka the latest car wena ngeng. Now at this point, even though I'm still learning how to use money and whatnot, a gona koloi mpšhe ke e rekile okay wa ntlha dikoloi ino a le tsona ke na le tsona dikoloi but a ke sana pressure e or let me have the latest car because for now it's no longer that fancy thing nna I find pride ona benong in go travela jo wa bona nna go travela ke di experiences tsa gona lo mongwe o leboga mmelo wa hae ka ya go Diamond Rock mara ba mangwe ba ya go Diamond Rock a se re ba leboga mmelo wa bona ba nyako bontsha rena wa ntlha go ka bona motho jo ira selo and then o nyako se raba mo facing tsa rena ka fela you know that person is not happy o swana le ditlabo tse dingwe jo
what is not on the gram it didn't happen.
So lonyana tseo jo re te prove until neng jo like lifestyle I know I feel like a lot of people are happy no wantla ne ke rato tsa ditlabo tsa go tura mo something di underground jo peta di veve wantla but I jo one thing sala ka inahana ke chaile o itse ka sena hano na le chelete o nana o sena selo ke le kompetong ke mara o itse jo life rena jo why should hona benong ke tsa mai ke reke maybe Audi RS3 ga 1.4 million nna ke rato ka race me spinner that's what I do for fun. Why would I go spend 1.3 million we only raise like 4 times a year? Is it like a good investment? But pressure. I only see them 4 times a year.
Exactly.
Measure chumiaga measure host lady go ODI race. Oh, host 4 times a year, fella. That's the only time go panel about 12. Or they need or get some invest 1 point something million. Kerana jora keep it go go bank. Koloi tso jwa ke travel le tsore 20,000 ya nngwe extra ebo Mozambique o tsore nngwe ya bo Zimbabwe tsa mo bona bo Victoria Falls wa no tora ka koloi o tura maro tra pele ke one wa bona re jo gona le ba bang bona ba khono ba be ba tsamaya ba travel and then ba direke dikoloi tseo di levels a di tshwana ene rena mo life nga no re nya go tsena mo re sa lekaneng mo teng wa mfrostan ke ntwe re bolayang le ko di clubong kwa go tsa matlabo tsela tso tura go bo santing tsa di underground khono bro tha ba happy ngwanyana teng o khono mondo o ntsha phone e bela bo itla ka di starlight from mo o nnetse phone o cheta le mangwe ba ba seng mo o ba active fela ka point le re santse wa bone ke batho mo ileng gore maybe hona le grotman le lengwe le na le di bodyguard mo la le kappa bodyguard toilet go na mantshang phone but you can see for the rest of the night most to happy o nnetse phone
sa go tsa pili snap ya 32,000
ba smile fela he ba smile fela and then after mo ke back to square one ba le majita teng jo khono bona ba boreile ba ntse mo di phone right look at the videos tsa majita a go di clubong tsela tse di expensive 90% of the times those guys ba nnetse di phone tsa bona ba chetala bo mangwe ba go khola o kra ba chetala rena re le go di taverneng gore re le moreto no la di khoto tsa di 20 rand wona spendile 20,000 cause unya go impressa banyana lo hana ba o hana o ya lo hana wani we mara bona re jo di investments dingwe tse jo adina ngondo like adi make sense on first start I feel like as my South African nje sounds we need to go back to the drawing board to berekisa nyo on first start
what kills us
go sa no henesi ska ta hapeletso ra no henesi eno a ine nna jo ke njwa hine ke wa itse nane I was in hospital net cake at December ba la bongise sepetlele mhlalo ne ba bo drainer ka ma pipe mhlalo no December ne kutshwere mkotla I had mkotla
you were money
one first stand so beno ke tabatsela tsa rena jo ke rata hine ke lo no bon before ke tla ke noela ngutu ya because wa itse rwa ke no ngutu because a ke bone ke motho one first stand no so ene ke train le rare and even if batho ba mpona le no I still drink the cons ke ntwiki nje na ke enjoy a beer one tlhalwa kara ka mabotlolo mo la December kara ka jo first week of December was enough ne ba bo drain ba ngise sepetlele ke palla go tsama ba ro no le bela bong ba ntsheka di kidney if a ka fisa di kidney one tlhalwa so jo it was bad wa bona mara jo mo ga ipola ke ipolela ntwe lo re lo irata ke rata
yo
na jo re ithatela mabela masembolo ra thoko ka se re hotse ka ona mara no because of pressure and a pressure ke bolele because na ke sana yona pressure ne ke na le pressure kale le no so le diaparo tsa go shine ra apara ba tabelele ba belela motho a fitla mona re jo wa peresla go sa Gucci ka outfit ya go shine wa wira so ngengengenge wa bona re jo a method point me lo re no aksa need or ke te prove go motho go se kawatha ke le one tlhalwa aba teng diamonds ba ka so feselo no so le shine ra ya apara awa e ngo bona ka pere shine ka Louis Vuitton o ka re ke fe go tla e bolela we ya ko a ona sleepy se ke tlo fang sona one tlhalwa no journal bana jo re berekela lo tse di important no so jo re tlo phila so until ninjo go leza batho di re possessiwa motho instead of apatele koloi per month yena o choose rawa 30 ejo ho na le di areas tsa 50,000 15,000 enyane o ibetseng banyana o tlo spenda mo ejo e no nna go ntlong once ngona ba o bolele so ta dilo tse di important tsa 15,000 to di areas tse go boditse bang gore ke pate 15,000 e tlo utlwana le wena no so dikoloi tsa batho di a jewa mara every weekend ke bona wa ba ono ke bona ba Diamond Rock ke ngengenge guys ke live ro phela so until ning jo na man guys o gre motho a better full set mara ngwana ile sekolo sa tsena gore creature e tsena go jiwa dinawa wa bona re jo o ka sa apare ngwana ba ka jisa ngwana o dinawa crutch ngwana wa guys
doesn't make sense.
Hey guys bana santse ba e bo Montessori bo wantlwa ene ko dikolong tseo di expensive mara investing that because ba tlo ba rutel this thing na ilor e aba na zanga ra rutwa
Yeah.
financial education ba tlo ikira ra this and that ba tlo ikira ra lo tse lor na zanga ra ba le tsona so no one o tla ka mentality wa go social and then o no ra wena selenge so hasha bana ngwana ba mmone o nyako misa sekolong go kasi o nna mo santini mo hore batho ba bone o isa ngwana sekolong Thembisa every day o ka re wena o patala 500 era so ba mo jisa bo di binsi. I'm not saying we're get everything you guys mara ke education e bang a ikreang e da so
I think that's one thing that differentiates us from white people. O tlo kopana le legwa le tsamaya ka hande e shaponyana ya 20 something mara ntlo ya high because it's an investment. Motho tlo go botsa no I'm investing for my child's wedding. You laughing or ngwana sana 6 months lenyalo jwang kanti they know what they say. Only if we black people we could also get the same education.
Exactly. Ke re jo itse e go bodi estate tsa tshwana le bo midstream ne o khono differentiate between ntlo motho montsho le ntlo ya lekgo ntlo ya lekgo kra pakile I10 go ntlo ya 20 million
Yeah
20 million o bona I10 ka montlo bona le Polo Vivo ene ke tsa owner ra ntloela ho mmutsa mo live conversation le na ra wa jona ka ke savings ntlo cash contant e do na le venenya nngwe Hilux nya nngwe ya khalenyana beana Hilux lo mmutso ro ira langa no tla botso rena this guy I traveled the entire Africa ka this car.
Yes this is my first car.
Wantlalo energy hona beno like in all this heavy every time I travel and I travel a lot. Okay. Like little 2 weeks ago I spent a week on Mpumalanga end of the month.
Still gonna come.
Yeah. So wantlalo ke moto travel and he travel especially during the week. Okay. Okra makwa fela da. Makwa batlo botsora wona re travel during the week. I had a conversation ka why leader so bare first of all it's cheaper. Number 2 you get to do everything ile re no nya go yetsa. So lo Mpumalanga maraka weekend. Hona lo tsering go se dinamelo go zo tletse. And what later and nyako and naga se te bilime se batho ba ntse tsamaya weekend because ra bereka we don't have the privilege of tsona ya tsona le ya makho bona bana le yona privilege mara privilege eo ba sa e berekela to this day jo ke a bona re batho ba ntse ba netse re makho ba kreile this and that bona ba ikreile mahala most of the things ba ikreile le land ke e ba itshwere ba tshwere ba 80% or ba
yeah
wantlhalwa na re ka se blame batho ba rena but at the same time batho ba rena re irang we change right then ka di holocaust jo le ma Asian ne ba le disadvantage le ma Indians ne ba le disadvantage ka tsone ba re fitile if you look at go America no so I think Asians know batho mo tshwara za go feta makgwa go America batho mo overtake no so ka mkho finance bone growang ka teng those guys jo le facile lo tlhelele sa phala ke bona ba tshwere manufacturing ka fela jo wantlhalwa ke bona ba tshwering everything jo and which is why ke le rena batho ba bantsho as much as ke re blame I get a blame at this when it comes to like those le za bo chelete ka mkho o boditseng go feeling deal ka example ka something sa 1 million he ba o file 1 million a tendera o ka re o jama 300,000 o itse why arna machinery jo he ba mfile right now re ke tsamae ke lo printer di keeper tse 500,000 I don't think una le motho montsho wa le machinery okay but thing there's a few there's a guy that okay meeting Momo Josie I won't mention the company there's omongwa happy meeting that guy makes about 500 million a year I had a meeting there sometime last year so unto steka project thing one so bona ba teng lor ba investile to a point me lor bana le machinery wa bona no but majority of us are na machinery if wena ka usane jo go fa tendera Ramaphosa no le file 600 billion as basadi do I it
no I didn't
is allocated no o lebello kana lutlo le budget speech na
no I didn't
and that's another thing brana batho ba are itse re nyuke go kae Ramaphosa utsa 600 billion basadi gantu mo ke di project tse le re basadi ba santse wa involved mo tsona wantlhalwa basadi ba baya aba itse ka direct and even if ba itse nanga no tsentsha mo business yang ke nyako ja 600 million ka ofa di shares nyana mo company ka ja 600 billion mara re ka se maximize on profit rena cause arena machinery he ba re file construction jo di gatla ka ntla tswa ke na tsona sounds ke se chelete go lekhueng
higher
le so makhuwa jo this thing ya BES ya bereka fela ka onore e re fa introduction to the business world mara I re the maximum profit because arna machinery re feng machine re khona go iperekela he o itse re ne wira so ne o tsure company ya o ra nyoko manufacturer so re feng yona machine eo so mara khona to manufacturela because if not over 50% a jet tšhelete ya go lekgoeng go mfile million le kgwa le fitlha mola lampotsa le re nna go charge 600,000 ke mo fa 600,000 ka mo ke sana babedi ka mo se ke patla di petrol ke rengeng so a re maximize mo profit ya rena cause a rena metšhini wa ntlhalwa mara ke ntho santse re berekele no cause rena re ka se blame generation ya khale ne ba sena di-privilege tsa apartheid ne ba ememo ba lwetse freedom ya rena no re na le freedom of movement we don't have freedom ya economy mara the fact that we can move freely ro ira di-connection wa ntlhalwa let's use that.
Yeah. Yo, guys, I learned so much. So just a few, like 2 minutes. Let's talk about Neo behind the business.
Nna behind the business. I'm a racer. I'm a spinner. One thing, I'm a spinner, Joe. I better BM. Too much.
That's why you owing the GTI.
Yeah, well, ke spina first time BM ga etswa la sekele mo la ke bethe wa ntlhalwa ke skimile majitaga ama serious no join hona I skimile majita ba una di business tse di serious but I can't mention them because business tse dingwe tse di like ke bo aba tshwanno itse hore ke bo mang wa bo these business if people know hore ke bo mang then wa bo itlo ba flop mara I have friends everywhere I wanna mo sna ntshwe me go teng jo and ke rata ba le ba strata nna o itse because go strating ke mo batho khono nahana nga pela jo I feel like 95 ngiri lo re mo ke ska khono nahana out of the box wa itse tlhoka tšhelete o sa expecta selo from motho santse na ne fast jo so nna bile pila nna ke no ithatela strata guys mara le business one tshalo
let's talk about NM Tech. Are you hiring at the moment? If there's somebody who wants to gain experience like training, do you
so NM Tech I ke hire and mereko go etsa ngo NM Tech I don't think batho ba educated ba tlo khono yetsa.
Okay.
Just no, because South Africa is investing more on the buka than go the factory.
Thank you so much. Let me get in that. I'm studying computer science. I'm doing my second year, but we still complain about I don't even know anything about coding.
Exactly
they never even taught me. It's all about the same theory.
But it's intentionally. This thing is being done intentionally, guys. It's being done intentionally. Let the senior university more than banna. It's being done intentionally. It's being done intentionally. Cause they know Ejo. I fought Coffee's Mas Folka 2015. Neges gova traga ma polisa mol. Neges ama kuliong bargi nisan sendra ki file ke papaga. Ma bargi bastrega ba ina mela ka modim. Wan tla ke do bontsha di videos a jo re be thule ka di raba bullet ona ntho isera halang da. One first time.
Oh guys, we are so out of time. And now we're starting to get deeper and deeper and deeper. Now we have to get part 2. We have to get to know that Neo. Like now we got to know Neo the business. We want to know more about
why it's intentional for hotla le basadi because women cannot revolt.
Yeah.
Rena majita wa ritse jo re tswala di class. Fees must follow and basadi fel. No, so it's being done intentionally, guys. But anyway, story for another day.
Story for part 2, guys. We're most definitely coming for part 2. Oh, guys, I learned so much. Until we meet again, please don't forget to subscribe, like, do whatever that you wanna do. I'm Neo Malatji. Next time, bye.